Hey guys, it's Ross. So what we're looking at today is the raspberries. We're going to look at the blackberries quite shortly here. And then we're going to also look at the mulberry. And this is the three things I just mentioned, mulberry, blackberry, raspberry, they're very, very reliable. They're very easy to grow. If you just know how to prune, you know how to train them, which is very simple, you're going to have mulberries, raspberries, blackberries every year reliably with absolutely no problems, because there's really nothing that bothers them other than birds. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about in this video, is the birds and the strategies I've been using to kind of help deter the birds. And I know there's many things I could be doing with the mulberry, or more things I could be doing in addition to what I'm going to show you guys. But this is a fail-safe. This 100% of the time works. So I'm using these Organza bags, okay? So I use these for my figs specifically. I use these for a lot of fruits. If I could use these for almost everything, I would. It's just that certain things fruit in different ways. So the raspberry, as an example, has clusters of fruit. You can see one of the fruits here that's not been bagged, that's been eaten by a bird. So these clusters of fruits, though, you can just slip a bag over top of that, tie it up nice and tight, and no birds can get to that, right? It's very simple. The same thing with my figs, the same thing with probably the peaches that I should have done a while ago to even protect them from cucurbito or other insect damage. I'm doing the same thing with these. I find that it's a lot easier than, say, something like a netting. So the other strategy a lot of people use, and I've used in the past, is bird netting. So let me just back up for you guys. Maybe you'd appreciate a different view on this. Maybe you can get the full size and scale of these canes. But the bird netting I'm not a huge fan of, because you really have to pay a little bit of extra money to get a quality netting that's going to be worth using. You can get stuff at Home Depot, and I've used it in the past. You can get stuff from Home Depot that's very cheap, but it doesn't work well because the netting has very large holes in it that keep out the birds, doesn't keep out insects, which is kind of what you want. You want all this stuff to be pollinated, right? But the problem is the holes are too big, and the mulberry, as an example, will just grow straight through the netting. These growth tips will grow right through it, and the mulberry is growing at about a foot every week. That's not an exaggeration. So it would be even more if my tree was older. The tree's been about awake for 8 weeks now, and some of these limbs, the new limbs coming out of the tree, are about 8 feet tall. So it's a lot of growth, and that growth, when it comes through the netting, creates a problem where, yes, you can still get in the tree and harvest some of these mulberries, right? You could still get in here and do that. The problem is the netting, you can't really get the netting off because it's entangled within all these new branches. So if you want to prune the tree, which I do every year, and I do multiple times a year, pretty soon we should come in here and prune this thing. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll let this thing go, because I have a new strategy this year, and I'm going to be cutting this back very far, because netting just isn't an option. Like I said, netting, it doesn't really work out too well. Yes, you do preserve fruit, but you ruin the net every single year. The net gets completely ruined. So what I'm going to do is come in here and chop this down quite far, about here maybe, and these other limbs just as far down. And we're going to graft onto that a new variety of mulberry that is dwarfed. It is a truly dwarfed mulberry that has very good taste qualities to it. It's called Gerardi Dwarf, and Gerardi, it fruits so much that the tree doesn't really grow that much. That's why it's so dwarfed. It is an alba, Morus alba is the species name that does well here in this climate. So we're gonna do that, and then that way, since it grows so small, we'll be able to net the thing, right? So that's gonna be solved. And a lot of people suggested I put discs up, you know, things, shiny things, maybe a scarecrow, something to scare the birds away, which is all great, but I don't know. This is just what I'm gonna do, and I think it works really well, either netting or these organza bags. So that's kind of the video, guys. I really wanted to show you what's going on here. I wanted to kind of express how easy it is to grow these things, how quickly they grow, how abundant they are, and kind of inspire you guys to grow these things. But just know that if you have birds, which they'll find them, you definitely are going to have to fight with the birds to get this stuff. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you guys later. You can get these bags, by the way, on eBay or Amazon, just about anywhere. They're party favor bags that people use for weddings. So, all right, guys, take care, and we'll see you guys for the next one.